fought the championship. Look at that.
Gonna have another one in a few days.
Yes, you will have another one in a few days' time, as we are here for AEW All In. I am joined by a woman who, in my opinion, is probably the most talked about person in the world of wrestling. She is the number one contender for the AEW Women's World Championship, set to face timeless Toni Storm. Please welcome the glamour Mariah May. Now, how are you?
I'm very good. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Not loving the UK. I came here and I was like, oh yes, I remember why I moved countries twice.
I was going to say, like, you've obviously got a lot of history here. You rose up in the ranks here. Like, how's that shift been from going from the UK to the US?
It's been amazing. It's always good when you get to leave this country. But no, it's really cool to be back here. And we had a show in Cardiff, and I used to wrestle in Wales a lot in the Indies, which was horrendous. So just to be back there and to be a part of AEW and to be a part of the most talked about storyline in wrestling right now is just an incredible experience. And I love living in America. I got a real nice little house in Florida with a pool, as I should. I'm going to be out there with both belts. Maybe no bikini.
I feel like you might need to recreate the Shawn Michaels photo shoot. Like, is that on the cards when you win?
Well, yeah, I definitely need a win because I need 2 belts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think one belt might cause the internet to completely break.
Yeah, no, I might lose my job.
That would not be good, and we don't want that. So, like, AEW clearly, like,
AEW needs me.
I think they do, because like they clearly, when you came in to AEW, they had like a clear vision. It's like from the get-go, you were like, they're doing this with you. Like, did you kind of feel that was apparent, or was that?
So the reason I chose to come to AEW was because the storyline was pitched to me. So at the time I was in Stardom in Japan, and I kind of started again when I moved to Japan. I started like from just square one. I went to the dojo and trained all the time. We did so many shows. I was honestly like, I'm a rookie again, and I just want to learn. And
I don't know what's going on over
I
there.
don't know that the glamour is talking right now.
Just for context, you've got the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and Willow Nightingale having a bit of a shouting match across from us.
Nobody cares about either of these people because I'm in the room right now. But I was in Japan, and I was really deep into my. Oh my god! I was really deep into my training in Japan, and they called me, and I wasn't quite ready to leave Japan because I still wanted to learn, and there were still a lot of personal goals I had there. But I spoke directly with Tony Khan, and he told me about this story, and I love storylines. Like, when you're a kid growing up, you attach yourself to stories. My favorite wrestler was Mickie James, so it's like, I love a story, and she's all about that. She had such a strong character, and it was like, when he described the storyline to me and the potential of it, I was like, okay, I'm not just being signed because she's a little bit hot right now or she has a bit of attention. It's like, no, we want to sign you. We have a long-term plan for you. And so that's why I said yes.
I mean, I feel like I've not heard that from you. I'm like, this is actually quite fascinating to hear.
Yeah.
That is kind of like the perspective of
That's
what
why
happened.
I chose to come here. I mean, a lot of people say AEW doesn't tell stories, and it's like, this is probably the greatest story in wrestling.
I feel like I have to agree, like, especially from like a women's perspective, to have such a well thought out story being told. How has it felt like kind of going through the story?
It's been amazing. I mean, like I said, I always wanted to be a part of storylines, and I loved wrestling in Japan so much, but because I was a foreigner, I never really got to do the storylines so much. I tried, I pushed a little bit here and there, but it was mostly comedy. It was very light. It was never as deep and intense as this. And to be a part of something like this and to really go through the history of myself and Toni Storm, because I've followed her since I stepped into her progress. I followed her to Stardom. I followed her to AEW, and what you're seeing isn't fake, it's real.
I mean, I do remember when you stepped in at that progress, and like, I remember like the outroar when it was like, you've only had a few matches and you're now on like the biggest stage in the Brit Rest scene. Like, and you've obviously come such a long way with that. And a lot of people are now like very passionate about you. Yeah. I feel like your fan base is something else. Like, so how's it like, you go online and you see people making artwork about you, making videos about
Wouldn't you want to make artwork of this space?
Like, but it's all now been inspired by you and the story. Like, how does it feel when you go online and you see someone's tagged you in a video?
First of all, you're saving me a job. Okay, you're saving me from editing, or I mean, I actually can draw probably better than them, but you're saving me from doing any of that stuff. So thank you for doing my Instagram for me. But no, it's really nice that this story has resonated with so many people, and it's nice to see a women's storyline that is well written. And, you know, it's not just completely like the same old thing we've seen before, and that is so deeply rooted in our real personal lives between myself and Toni. And the fact that it touches people like that, they want to make movies, and I've seen all the hype and excitement for All In, and a lot of it is for us, and as it should be. I'm about to murder a woman in front of 50,000 plus people, but to see that kind of level of excitement, and I've seen a lot of women say how much that they have enjoyed this. It's for everybody, but the fact that it's for women and they can enjoy it and be like, oh, this is realistic. And it was written by RJ City, who is an old lady.
He is based in old, and so a lot of people kind of picked up. He has picked up from old Hollywood movies, and that's kind of like what. And like one of the things I know you for, because I've known you a long time, is your gear and your style. Did it feel weird to kind of have to take on Toni's style for a few months and not do like the gear that I know you from like Japan?
So it was a little bit different, but I'm an actress and I love to play a role. And I had Toni Storm and everybody else believing that all I ever wanted was to be like Toni Storm, which isn't completely untrue. I do want to be Toni Storm. I want to be the face of this division. I want to do all the things that she did. That's why I have to kill her. But wearing her gears, which let's face it, are not as nice as mine, was a little bit of a struggle, but I did what I needed to do. I wore her skin. I made her believe everything so I could get to this exact moment.
And I feel like I've got to ask, what's the gear looking like for All In?
So being the glamour, I do have 3 choices, and they're all from different countries too.
Oh my gosh.
American, UK, and Japan. So I'm really just deciding which one is most fitting for the funeral of Toni Storm. They're all completely colorful and inappropriate for a funeral, which checks out because I don't respect you, Toni Storm.
I feel like I'm really excited about all your gears now. I'm just like, I need to see these gears. I'm going to get the gear out of you at some point after this interview. So I'm seeing you've got the heel. You have the bloody heel. Like, are there any other shoes that you think could work as like a weapon of choice, or do you think this is it?
Oh my god, there's like the YSL heels, which have the literal YSL logo as the heel. I would love to put that in Toni Storm's forehead. But the fact I could use her disgusting granny shoe, which God knows what charity shop she dragged us out of, to do it to her felt the most fitting. And I think once I finally put Toni Storm out to pasture, I'll leave the shoe on her grave.
That sounds. I feel like you need to give like an up close of this shoe, because like I'm seeing like the blood.
There's a little bit of her foundation on it.
Oh my, that is actually terrifying. So, All In Sunday. Any last words for Timeless Toni Storm?
Toni, I love you. I thank you. And you are going to die.
And on that note, we are going to wrap up the interview there. Thank you so much for the glamour Mariah May, who is going to be facing Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship this Sunday at All In.
I'm traveling a lot, and when you travel, you got to protect your data. You got to protect your privacy online. NordVPN.com/Fightful allows me to do that, allows me to browse safely and securely. When you go to an airport, when you go to an arena, a restaurant, a hotel, you're usually connecting to that unsecured Wi-Fi, which leaves you susceptible to having your data stolen, any number of things taken from your private connection, or what should be your private connection. NordVPN.com/Fightful makes it a private connection with the fastest VPN in the world, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and a ton of other features in addition to that peace of mind that you get when you can browse safely and securely. And I'm talking all your devices: Surface Pro, laptop, desktop, PC, smart TV, router, phone, whatever you're taking with you. NordVPN.com/Fightful will add extra layers of security to your digital life. You can get a password manager, a file encryption tool. Be safe, be smart. NordVPN.com/Fightful.